It must be patently obvious by now that the central position of our camera gives us an incomparably better view of the action than the side-mounted TV cameras. That's Jody Scheckter's Wolf leading and being passed by Patrick Depaille's Tyrrell. And here's Carlos Reutemann diving his Ferrari inside Mario's Lotus. But Jacques Lafitte passes the lot of them in his Ligier. Isn't this the way to watch a Grand Prix? All right, we know all the drivers are playing to the camera in this practice session, but it is still terrific stuff. If only the actual racing could be like this now and again. When three-times world champion Jackie Stewart drove a Tyrrell at Brands Hatch in 1978, he'd been retired from racing for 5 years. But he soon showed that he'd lost none of his extraordinary skills. He was fitted with a microphone for the occasion, so I'll let him talk us round the circuit.
To the start-finishing line of this lap. Put it into fourth gear for Paddock. Off-camber left-hander, bit of wide. Put the power down in fourth gear. Brake hard into third, up into second, down into second, in for Druitt. Plugging the curb all the way round, applying the power. Back in, straight into fourth gear from second, because it's downhill. Applying the power. Going along the bottom behind the pits, down into third gear. Long left-hander, a tight, tightening corner. Car understeers a bit, applying the power. Accelerating along. Outside of the car, braking hard. Fourth gear now, for it used to be Hawthorne's. Accelerating along in fourth gear. Driving into third gear. Into third gear for this corner. Accelerating out into fourth gear, down Deer's Leap. Into third gear again for a tight right-hander corner over the curb slightly. Accelerating hard, down into second gear. Opposite lock into third gear. Into fourth gear. Going towards the bridge, braking hard. Into third gear. And right at the end of the...
Now we ride with Nigel Mansell in his Lotus. Nigel has happy memories of Brands Hatch as he won his first Grand Prix here in 1985. He also won the last British Grand Prix to be held here the following year. Both victories coming in a Williams. Nigel never really gets going on this run. Notice how quickly the McLaren and Ferrari go by. But he gives us the chance to admire this marvellous circuit as it plunges and climbs through the woods. Most drivers loved Brands, regarding it as a real challenge, but it's now been shamefully abandoned by Formula One. Millions of pounds have been spent trying to turn Silverstone into something like a road circuit when there's one of the best right here. It's a funny old world. President Juan Perón of Argentina was a great racing fan whose influence led to the construction of this circuit, Autodrome 17th October, on the outskirts of Buenos Aires. It was completed in 1953, and the first Argentine Grand Prix was held the following year. The event continued until 1961, but the next Grand Prix wasn't held until 1972, when Jackie Stewart won in a Tyrrell. In 1974, the circuit was extended to its present length. Nelson Piquet won in 1981, the last Argentine Grand Prix to date. As we ride with Jean-Pierre Jabouille in his Renault, we can see that it's flat and featureless, with two long straights joined by this almost semicircular curve. It wasn't very demanding, but quite quick. Piquet's winning average speed in 1981 was almost 125 miles an hour. It's a surprising fact that during all the on-car laps filmed by Alain Boinard, more than 100, nobody spun. More's the pity, as it would probably have made pretty exciting viewing. One driver did crash, however, and it was Senor Piquet here, who'll stuff his Lotus Honda into a wall in a minute or so. Meanwhile, let's watch this triple world champion in action. Detroit was one of the few circuits that ran anti-clockwise, and as we can see, it was very much a stop-and-go affair. Why Formula One persisted with these city centre events in America is a mystery. They were inevitably very slow, the race average here was about 80 miles an hour, and made overtaking almost impossible, thus denying millions of American TV fans the very excitement they get from NASCAR and Indy racing. And with their concrete walls, tunnels, high wire fences and tall buildings, such circuits were very unfriendly to TV cameras. Despite this, since the demise of Watkins Glen in 1980, the USGP has been held in Dallas, Detroit, Phoenix and, heaven help us, in a car park in Las Vegas. Why this should be so when there's a truly magnificent 4-mile racing circuit at Road America, Wisconsin, is yet another mystery. Oh yes, and if you're wondering about Senor Piquet's shunt, it's coming up about now. Oh well, it can happen to the best, can't it? We'll turn a blind eye to that one, Nelson. So far, all these laps have been run in the dry. But now we have an opportunity to tiptoe around Detroit in the rain with Eddie Cheever. Just watch and listen as he fights to keep the Renault away from those unforgiving walls.